All right, we're recording. Hello, everyone. My name is Ulim Vasilov, and I'm the community manager for Harbor. Today is February 22nd, and that's the official community meeting. So please follow the code of conduct and just behave practically. With that, I'm going to paste once again the community meeting notes into the chat. So if you can add yourself, add your topics, add your updates, or whatever you want to discuss with us today. So with that, I'm going to share that same document with you. Go. Alrighty. Okay. I hope everyone can see that. And with this one, yeah, I can see not much of a topics added, and not many folks added themselves. But can you go ahead and then talk about the cloud events?
Yeah.
Do we have
Okay.
Chenyu? Yeah. Hi.
Hi, Ollie. Can I share my screen?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. Hello, guys. I'm Chen Yu. Today my topic is discussing the proposal of support cloud event for webhook. But actually, it's not only for cloud event, but also we do some improvement to improve the better webhook management. So there are two major features for this proposal. One is webhook refactor, and another is cloud event support. Firstly, let's quickly go through the background. Cloud events, it's a spec which just something like OCI image spec or OCI distribution spec, but this is for event. So, and also it's under the CNCF. So if Harbor can support to integrate the cloud event to the webhook, that can help better connect to the different vendors who follow the cloud event spec. That is benefit for Harbor. Okay, so we have two goals which are actually related to the futures. One is refactor the webhook code base to migrate the job to the common task framework. I will explain why we need to do this in the following section. And another is to aid the integration of cloud event. Also, we have two non-goals. One is we will not retain all the webhook job histories, because in the previous Harbor versions, this table has never been cleaned up. So the data volume of this table may be huge. So it's not a good choice to migrate all the old data. So we plan only migrate the last one for every event type. And another non-goal is we don't want to implement all combinations of cloud event spec, because it's a common spec. The user have enough flexible to construct their data structure. So for example, they can use XML or JSON or any other which follow the spec format. Harbor will provide one standard format, that is JSON format. Next, let's move to the implementation. For the front end, it's the UI for this proposal. We will add the payload format option selector in the editor page, in the webhook policy edit page. It's not a required option, and it's only valued when the notify type is HTTP. Why we not support Slack? Because we don't think Slack is a notify type, and we plan to migrate this to a payload format. So currently we only support cloud event for HTTP, and in the future release we will migrate the Slack as a payload format. And the following part has no change. Okay, next is the page for the job histories. In previous, there is no such page for the webhook policy. There is only a last trigger. You can only see the last trigger time for one event type. But we refactor this part to the execution histories, just like replication, tag retention. There is execution lists, and when you click one execution, it will be redirected to the task page. In the task page, you can see the task status, the task start time, end time, and also you can click the logs button to see the logs when the job running. Okay, this is the change for the UI part. And for the backend, regarding the refactor, we can first I want to explain why we need to refactor this part. That is, in the previous version, Harbor has unified the scheduler and task framework, but the webhook is a legacy vendor. It's implement the task and execution by self in a self way. So, but other jobs vendors such as replication, tag retention, GC are using the unified way. So we want to migrate the webhook job to the unified way that can retrieve better management. Regarding this part, it can be summarized as following steps. Firstly, we need to create webhook job by manager or controller provided by the task package. This package is our unified task framework. And next, we need to update the job implementation. Because in the previous implementations, there is no debug logs for that. So user cannot aware what happened when the job running. So we will add more debug logs for this. And next is we will introduce the new APIs as a unified style for the operations of webhook jobs. Actually, there are 3 APIs. The first is list executions for a policy. This API can related to this page. When user click one policy, then it can display the executions under this policy. That called this API, list executions. And the next is the tasks API. This API can related to this page. That means when you click one execution in this picture, and then it will call the API to list the tasks under the executions. And next is last is the getLog API. This API can also related to this icon. When you click the logs icon, then UI will call the log API to retrieve the logs for the job. The job will look like some information when starts job and what's the request body and the response code, and successfully, then something like this. Okay, next is we also need to adjust the legacy API handler logic for the backward compatible, because so we do not remove the old APIs, but due to the refactor for the webhook job management, we need to do some adjustment. But actually, the two APIs, one is list jobs under the project, and another is return the last trigger information of the project webhook policy. These two APIs is not used widely. So we will add the deprecated marker in the Swagger and remove them in the some future release. Next is migrate the old job roles to the new tables. Because in the previous implementations, the webhook job is stored in the table notification job, and this table never be cleaned up. So we need to migrate the data in this table to the new table execution and task. But we will only migrate the last job for every event type from the performance view. And the following circle can help to do the migration. So the basic logic for this circle is firstly, we filter out the candidate jobs and then do some conversion, and finally insert into execution and task. By the way, this script can only help to migrate the data in the database. It's a static data, but if you have some runtime jobs, you need to clean this by the job service dashboard, because this running jobs is in the Redis queue. So from the script, we cannot clean this. Finally, we need to drop the table notification job, but we may need to add the release notes to tell user if he wants to keep the table, he should back up this table before upgrade. Okay, next is the part about cloud event. Cloud event is a spec for describing event data in a common way. So it defines some attributes and type, and some fields is required and some fields is optional. Here I list some important fields. First, the ID is a attribute to identify the event. It's a required attribute. And then the source is identify the context in which an event happened. It's also a required. And then spec version. The spec version is point out the which the events use the spec version. Right now it's V1. The type is the field to describe the type of event. related to the original occurrence. And next, the following attributes is optional one. So that means you can have these fields or don't have. It's all okay. Data content type, it's just the content type of the data value. This data schema is the schema of the data. The data is your event payload. The subject is the describe the subject of your event. The time, that means when the event happened. Okay, next is the event type mapping. That means in the previous versions, when you receive a webhook payload, you will got the event type for this event. And if you choose the cloud event payload format, there is event type mapping to the old type in the cloud event way. It's the style is the domain dot object dot action. So you can refer to this table to call the new type in the cloud event way. Regarding the interface, we need to define an interface to handle the event data formation. Because if we have this interface, the user from community who wants to contribute their custom or their wanted vendors, they can just adding the driver just by implement the method, implement the interface. The following is just two demo case for how to implement the method. For example, this is a JSON formatter. It implements the format method, and it's do something blah blah. And finally, using JSON to encode the payload and then return. And then Harbor will use this data send to the user-defined endpoints. And next, this is the cloud event formatter. So we'll do something blah blah. And finally, use cloud event way to encode the payload and then return the data. Okay, finally, there are two examples to show the payload in the cloud event way. First is the push artifact. You can see the spec version is 1.0. Currently, because we follow this spec version, so this value is fixed. But if in the future we follow the 2.0, we should update this in the value. And next is the type. The type is the event type. You can follow in the this table. And next is the source. Source means what's the who. That means who is the source of the event. For this case, this is a policy. The policy's ID is 1, and under the project's 1, so that means the ID equals 1 policy, one webhook policy under the project 1 triggers this event. And then next is the ID. ID is a unique ID. For the Harbor case, we will use the job ID to fill in this value. The time is the event happened in what time. And operator is a Harbor application extension value. It's not in the cloud event spec, but it's the Harbor application field. So it represents the event operator of this event. And at last is two field data content type and data. The data is your payload data encoded by the data content type way. It's for my case, it's my content type is application JSON, so my data was encoded into JSON format. And next is the case for application. It's something this field is similar with the push artifact. Only the difference is only it's a typo. The data content type should be application JSON, and the data should be this one. Okay. All right. That's all the parts about this proposal. Any question?
So we have the sorry, I have one question. So we have the ability to show the payload of the webhook sent by Harbor, right? In your design.
Yeah, he can click the logs to see the when the user clicks the logs, he can see the logs, and in our logs we print the webhook payload.
Okay.
But we can also consider put the payload in the execution or task some column.
Yeah, I believe it's not very convenient for user to click several links to get the payload and eventually get the payload from the log, right?
Yeah.
So it's better that we can have a column for them. To see
just like this picture shows. We can store it in the X-tree attributes. Then user can click it to see the payload details.
Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? No. I think Vadim proposed some changes on the namings on that specific proposal.
I see that. I will update. Okay, thank you.
But by the way, the webhook enhancement also the support cloud event is the anchor feature for Harbor 2.8. Thanks, Training.
Thanks.
And one question from my side: is it a good idea to rework the webhook stuff altogether with the cloud events integration, or? I mean, I'm asking, shouldn't that be in like two different separate proposals, so we can have easy tracking of changes?
Because they are although they are not conflict, but I think we do not need to split two proposals. I think we can come back, track them by one.
And what was the impact of changing the webhook stuff for some other components? Is there any impact on this one? I mean, do we
No.
need to change something else?
No. If user
When
if
we-
user
Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. I mean
Uh,
that for the webhook enhancement, we just need to refactor the existing code base to make it have ability to extend the current support scope from Slack to cloud event, and eventually in the future we can easy to extend to add another kind of webhook support. So that's why we decided to do the refactor work for the webhook. So then based on that, we can support cloud event easily.
And another one related to this one, do we have to, if I'm using the webhook in some way, is there a change to the way how I'm using it? And
No, no.
Okay.
No behavior change and no API break change.
Yeah, okay. I was asking about this one. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, because we have to be careful just for the rest of the community if someone is relying on this one.
Yeah,
Have to
yeah, exactly.
word up.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was everything from my side. There's questions. Okay. Thank you, Chenyu. The next one that we have on our agenda for today is, give me a sec, is Simon from VMware. Wants to briefly do introduction of something called Project Narrows. Simon, are you with us?
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah,
Let
go
me share
ahead.
my screen. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see that. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. So hi, I'm Simon. I'm from VMware Beijing. And today I will be giving a very brief introduction to a hardware-related open source project called Project Narrows. This project primarily focuses on enhancing security. And the initial idea actually came from the Harvard team. And we collaborated with Chen Yu, Stephen Zhou, and other members from the team to implement the first few versions of this project. And Project Narrows aims to address the security challenges in the cloud native space. We think that currently organizations typically implement a cloud native security strategy to ensure security, which includes principles like shift security left, continuous security controls, CI/CD pipeline integrations, and something like traceability, auditability, and visibility. And as we all know, cloud native users leverage hardware to provide static analysis of vulnerabilities in images using scanners such as Trivi and Clear. The static analysis scan the images after they have been pushed to the registry. And Project Narrows provides a unique addition to hardware, as it allows user to assess the security posture of Kubernetes clusters at runtime. This means images are scanned at the time of introduction to a cluster. So vulnerabilities are caught in real time, and the images are flagged, and workloads can be quarantined. So that's basically what Project Narrows provides. And to further strengthen the security of Kubernetes infrastructure, we designed and delivered a set of capabilities that enable users to assess the real-time security posture of Kubernetes clusters and protect them from vulnerabilities and attacks. With Project Neros, users can understand the overall security posture of their clusters by scanning the workloads in the clusters. And at the same time, users can ensure that the actual security situations match their security compliance expectations and alert any breaches. User can define some security policies or security baselines in Project Neros. And with these policies, it can quarantine workloads sourced from vulnerable images and stop the propagation of risks. Additionally, scan Kubernetes cluster. Additionally, with Project Neros, the users can scan Kubernetes cluster misconfigurations following the CIS benchmark. So, below is a GitHub repo of this open source project, and here is a basic workflow of this project. Firstly, images are cached in Harbor from any third-party registries, maybe like Docker Hub. Then the image can be scanned in Harbor with some scanners like Trivi, and the security data is generated in Harbor. Then the security data can be consumed by Neros by some Kubernetes clusters that have Project Neros installed, and then the scanning result of a Kubernetes cluster is generated, and some alerts and some alerts can be generated as well. So next, let's watch a demo of Project Neros.
Hey, Simon, you stopped sharing. So are we supposed to see some video or?
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
No.
Oh, just a second.
Yeah, sure.
Share my screen. Okay.
Let's give it a try. Yeah.
Today, we're going to show a technical preview of our project. The environment we're using is set up with an upstream
Oh, sorry.
Today, we're going to show a technical preview of our project. The environment we're using is set up with an upstream Kubernetes and is ready to use Project Neros. Under Settings, a platform administrator must specify the security data source, and today, we're using Harbor. In the setup, you'll create the secret to connect to Harbor and fill in the endpoint of the Harbor instance. Then define the image scanning interval. After this setup, the images will be scanned periodically in Harbor to get the static image data, which Project Neros will use to compare to when the workloads are running. You can also add known registries to set replication rules in Harbor, and images from these registries will be replicated within Harbor, then scanned to get the security data on these images. You also have a way to improve the performance by setting up an external Redis. This will allow the security data from Harbor to be cached in Redis and save bandwidth. Now that the configurations are complete, the security auditor can specify the scanning rules in the policy section where they can define quarantining and security rules. To create a policy, there are a number of fields to fill out, including how often the scan should run, whether it's weekly, daily, hourly, or custom. Users can also fill out the configuration for their OpenSearch or Elasticsearch instances, so all the reports generated can be aggregated into the central place they're using and easy to analyze. In this section, the user can define the baselines to set up the security expectations. This is important because workloads that violate any of these baselines defined will be flagged. This is also where you can add multiple namespaces and workload labels to restrict the scope of the scanning. Here, you can choose whether you want to generate a report and quarantine the workloads that are flagged. Then to view these reports, you find them in the assessment section. The application developer and security auditor are going to care most about this area. We have 3 types of reports generated correlating to the 3 kinds of scanners we specified in the settings. So if you only choose one scanner, only one report will appear. This visual shows the history of the number of containers scanned by Project Narrows. We're going to dig into one of them to see more detailed information. In this report, default namespace was scanned. We'll drill down on the deploy test 2. In this container, a critical vulnerability has been identified, and because we chose to automatically quarantine workloads with issues, you can see that this is the action that was performed. In this section, it shows the reports of Kubench scanner that you specified in the policy. Kubench checks whether Kubernetes is deployed securely. Currently, we support 2 kinds of Kubench checks. Those are Kubernetes policies and worker node security configurations. There's also risk scanning. The software packages inside the workload containers can be scanned by the risk scanner, and here are the scanning results. We also got the score from 0 to 5 for measuring the severity of a vulnerability for each CVE. Another area for the security auditor is to view not only the security posture, but also the risk trends, which we organized into 3 categories: cluster, namespace, and workload. In the cluster section, you can see how many workloads have been scanned and how many violate the baseline. In the namespace section, you can drill down by namespace to view the total workload scanned and how many are vulnerable to see the violation. In the workload section, you can see all the workloads that have been scanned by Project Narrows with the option to drill down. Hope you've enjoyed this tech preview of Project Narrows. In this video, we've shown how you can add runtime scanning to your security arsenal by creating policies, quarantining workloads, and viewing your overall security posture.
Okay, so that's it, and we are very excited to engage with community and receive feedback and learn how people want to adopt or use these capabilities. So if anyone of you guys are interested in working with us more closely, please email us. So the email is narrows@vmware.com. Okay, that's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Simon. I have a few questions. So practically you integrate with Harbor and you're reading the CV reports from Harbor and then consume them into the Narrows. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you, yeah?
And actually, we have multiple security data source. The major the security data source is from Harbor, from the CVE DB. That is from Harbor. Another kind of security data is something like the rules of misconfigurations. That is from another party. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And do you plan to integrate with other tools like KubeScope, for example?
Yeah.
Because I've seen you used Kubench to evaluate the overall settings from the Kubernetes cluster, which is good, but with the Kubench you can do more in deep for the other deployments, for example.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So we in our roadmap we plan to also integrate something kind of like runtime security detection, something like a fail call, or to collect the runtime information or runtime postures to Project Narrows, so user can know much more clearly about the security. Yeah.
Yeah, and last thing from my side, how we can help from the community, the Harbor community with that project. Do you expect anything from my side or our side, or just like to spread the word a bit that you integrate with Harbor?
Yeah, so from my aspect, I think for the user of Harbor, it is very natural to extend the capabilities for the runtime security detection by using project narrows. Because it integrate with Harbor very smoothly, and so I think we can promote this project to some of the Harbor users.
Okay, I'll ask you to contact me offline with some blogs or something like that, so we can share that with the community, and they can give it a try or provide you some feedback.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. All right, thank you very much, Simon. Anyone questions for Simon about this project, or we can move on to the next topics? Nope. Okay, then. Thank you, Simon. Okay, our next thing on our agenda is from Marcel, right? About
Yes.
yeah.
It's hopefully a short topic, but let's see. In Harbor Operator, we right now have the problem. So the custom resource definitions are quite large in Harbor Operator, and there have been like some minor additions in the recent pull requests. And the problem has occurred now that the resources are too large for our Helm chart. So basically Harbor Operator together with the CRDs is packaged into a Helm chart. And now that Helm chart exceeds 1 megabyte, which is by a Helm a specified maximum size for resources that can be deployed through Helm. So I was asking here if this has been a problem before, or if there's already ideas on how to work around this. Because basically for Harbor Operator development right now is basically difficult, because I don't know the context about a lot of the options that are there in the CRD. And the CRD makes by far the largest portion of size in the Helm chart right now. If anyone has ideas, please speak up. Otherwise, I'm also happy to hear on Slack about ideas on how to go around this. One thing could be we split the Helm chart into 2 charts, or we remove unused options from the CRD. But the problem there is I don't know which options are used by the community, which makes it quite difficult to reduce the size of the overall chart.
What about Helm dependency?
We could try and add a dependency, but because the CRD needs to be installed first, it's not super easy to do. We could create a separate Helm chart that we then install as a dependency and try and order it correctly, that it gets installed beforehand. But it's not very nice in my experience.
Yeah, it's not beautiful. Yeah. I never came across this one in the past, especially with Harbor. Anyone else from the maintenance team? Nope. Maybe we can take that. Yeah, more deeper with the other operator maintainers. Maybe they can help. Just give them time. Maybe they can respond. Yeah.
Okay, I'll make another thread in Harbor Operator dev, and maybe we find something.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I will involve more maintainers from operator team to discuss with you for more details. Maybe some options can be removed from the Helm chart, but we should review them one by one so carefully. Yeah. But so for your problem, we can discuss in the sub channel. So it could be a long story. So
yeah, Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. I can see some new faces, but before I give the floor for everyone else to introduce themselves, I'm not sure if we have introduced already Amno to the team. Amno, can you introduce yourself, please, for
Hi,
those that don't
yeah,
know you?
yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Anmol, and I am going to be the product manager for Harbor from VMware side. And apart from that, I also look at packaging and deployment. So looking forward to working with everyone.
Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, Emma.
Yeah.
Welcome, Amo.
Thank you.
So in short, Anmo will take over from Roger and continue the work on the Harbor project from VMware side. So if you have any roadmap in this kind of feature requests and stuff, Anmo is your guy. And I can see some new faces on the yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Hi, Oli. Could you help to add ammo into the Go Harbor repository so that we can assign issues
that's
or
a good
feature
point.
requests?
Maybe
after
I'll do that.
So Emma, maybe you can share your GitHub handle so that we can add you into the repository.
Sure,
Into the-
sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll add you to the GitHub repository organization level, and I'll add you to the mailing lists so you can follow up on some stuff there. So
Thank
yeah, thank you. One.
Thank you. Thank you, Oli. Thank you.
All right. The rest of the folks on the call, do you want to introduce yourself? For those of you who are feeling like it and new to the audience.
Yes, do you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, hello, I'm Thomas. I'm working for OVH company, and we are using, we developed the Harbor operator at start, and we are using it to deploy the Harbor registry of our customers.
Nice. So you work together with Jeremy, or?
Yeah, he's my manager.
Okay, great. Because in the past we had Jeremy and Pierre. He was also in the OVH, right?
Yeah, and Simon too.
Yeah.
Yep, and yeah, Jeremy is still here, but he's now my manager, and Pierre left the company 2 years ago. So
he went to Datadog, I think. Yeah, and so what are the plans from OVH side you to become part of the maintenance team and represent the OVH into the Harbor community? Am I shooting right, or?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
We would like to help on Harbor operator subject, but like I said to Jan, we are a bit late on the version. Our customers are on version Harbor 2.4, so we need to upgrade it. We are working on it, and what we will be on last version. We will work on operator to handle new Harbor versions.
Nice. Okay. So we have since OVH was not super active in the last few months, I'll say year. We have joined by Marcel from Giant Swarm, and Marcel and Vadim on the other side, they're collaborating on the operator work. So I think you can get in touch with Marcel offline or something, so he can brief you out with the work and what's going on, correct? Right. So yeah.
Yeah, we started to talk on the Harbor operator dev channel on Slack.
Okay.
Yes, I also updated it today because there's lots of problems with CI and Harbor Operator
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, I
And
saw it.
we
We
have-
can,
yeah.
can continue to talk about it on Slack if you want.
The only problem there is it takes really long because like running CI every time takes like 30 minutes right now. So I'm just doing it when I have some time.
Yeah, and I never played with it, so I can't I can't help you very much for now. But yes, we need to fix it.
Hi, Thomas. I have an idea. So is it possible that we can set up a weekly or bi-weekly meeting for Harbor Operator development to discuss some engineering stuff like CIL, PR issues? I see several customers from community are have interest on Harbor Operator, so we can set up regular engineer meetings to discuss engineering items. So yeah, so is it possible to organize that? You can
I can set something. I can set
I-
something up.
Yeah, even I can do that through the CNCF account. So we can
Yeah.
get that recorded. And
Let's find a slot that works for everyone.
Yeah.
But I would like to join and I can help setting it up and driving it or something.
yeah. The account is not my own, right? It's the CNCF one. So whoever wants to lead that effort, just hit record, and then we can get it on online. So all right, okay, so I'll get in touch with you so we can figure this out.
Okay.
All right. Thank you and welcome, Thomas.
Thank you.
Anyone else, or we can, yeah. I guess I suppose that's how you pronounce your name. We cannot hear you. No. Yeah, give it a try. Nope. I can see your lips moving, but yeah. Okay, Marcel. Yeah, I have to drop as well. I just want to bring in another topic. Okay, Nagesh, take your time. I'm gonna just drop another thing. We had a request from the folks from what was their name? Give me a sec. Something. Yeah, UFZ, I suppose that's how you pronounce the name. And they propose us to implement as part of our CI to spin up a Harbor instance for the testing of the PR. When the PR is closed, they can destroy that. So if you can check, I've added that into the community meetings notes for today. I think it's pretty cool. I've tested it out with the for Backstage, and it's pretty responsive. So maybe we can think of it. They don't require anything from our side, just to let them do it, which is okay, I think. So if you take a look at this and just provide some feedback, if you think it's okay for us to have such thing, but I find it nice if we do some stuff and we can see the new instance of Harbor up with our changes and just test them somewhere on the internet, not locally, would be nice. So yeah, just take a look
thank
at
you,
that.
Oli.
Yeah.
So is it possible to have someone from this team to have to give a demo for Harbor to how to use that? And I think it's useful for us, especially for the UI work. Yeah.
Yeah, especially for the UI. The UI is. All right, I'll try to get in touch with them to do. Actually, we can drop a line into the PR that they've opened. If they can join us on our next community meeting, so they can do some demo and elaborate a bit more. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, Nagesh, second chance, man. Go ahead. No. No worries. Okay, we can try next time, eh? No worries. Okay, we have 2 minutes left. Part, I think you've introduced yourself already, right? Not
Yeah,
sure
it's
if-
my second meeting.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes, are you going to try again? I suppose you're from the Linux Foundation Mentee program. If that's correct, yeah, just note. Okay. To brief you on this one, we're gonna do review of the mentees tomorrow, I hope, with Wanyan and Vadim, and we're gonna select and continue with the program as expected. Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much again, Chenyu. Thank you for the demonstration. Simon, thank you as well. If that's it, thank you very much, everyone. Hope to see you again in 2 weeks. And yeah, have a nice rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good day.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.